In a world filled with sniveling snowflakes, where timeouts and safe places are abundant, where there's 37 genders to scroll through on a job application. Not that they have jobs. We're proud to be your salvation and your beacon to unabashed, in-your-face talk. This is Stars, Bars, and Cigars, the no-holds-barred conservative talk show hosted by battle-tested vets. Lock and load and get ready for an explosive journey through breaking news, the rich tapestry of constitutional history, and the pulse-pounding realities of Army and Navy life. Oh, and yeah, cigars. Stars, Bars, and Cigars. And now your hosts, Jimmy the Bull and Tig Tigger.
Hey, Patriots! Tig, how are ya?
Pretty damn good, Bull. It's been a long week. It's been, well, the good, the bad, and the ugly, but,
Yeah.
Rock on.
Yeah, sorry, I missed. Oh, hey, there's Kiss. Ace Frehley.
Ace
We'll be
Frehley.
talking about that boy here in a little bit.
Yes.
So, you gonna ask me how I'm doing?
Yeah, how the fuck are you, Bull? It's that kind of week.
Good, man. I'm doing good.
A little salty on my language this week.
Yeah, no problem. I'm salty too, so
Yeah.
we're likely pair.
Mm-hmm.
So tonight, I'm gonna tell a little rhyme here. So bear with me on this one. I might fuck it up a little bit, but hey, that's just life. Step right up to the No Kings Circus, where the Bull and Tig will give it to you with all our focus. Step into the ring where the thrones have fallen. Clowns are in charge. The circus is calling. Capitol's locked. The lights stay bright. We spin the news through the neon light. TikTok beats, memes filled in the air. Pop culture rips everywhere. No king, no crown, just daring flair, not to be found. Welcome to the shit show. Pull up a chair. Shutdown smokes. Paperwork's a joke. We juggle facts while the world's still woke. From retro vinyl to streaming streams, our circus rides on the wildest of dreams. So tighten your seatbelt. Feel the roar. The No King Circus swings open the door. Politics pop. The shit will blend. Your weekly dose of chaos goes right to the end. I hope everyone likes Lumo's rhyme, where Jimmy the Bull breaks it to you in real time. Hey, how did I think of that one?
Well, when did you become a poet, Bull?
Oh, I'm not really. I just was kind of fucking around with some words. And, hey,
Golf clap.
so tonight, what are you smoking, Tig?
Oh, I am smoking a very, very good cigar. It's a long-awaited cigar. I've been wanting to smoke this for a while. Got to clear my throat here. This has like three
Clear my throat.
This has like 3 wrappers on it. It's a $17 cigar, and it is the Rocky Patel 60, and it's a Toro.
17.
It is a 60.
You feeling rich?
I'm not rich. I had to buy this. 1961 to 2021, the 60. I will do a little bit. I wrote up some stuff on this. The Rocky Patel 60 Toro. It's a 6.5 length and a 52 gauge. It was released in September of 2021. It's a medium to full bodied, except the fact that it's probably a full body because they actually say that this is probably more of a cigar for an experienced smoker and not really a beginner. So it's supposed to have some cocoa and coffee and nuts and pepper spice, to it as far as taste is concerned. Maybe some caramel, leather, cedar. It's Mexican and San Andreas wrapper, Nicaraguan filler, Nicaraguan binder. It's box pressed. So if you could see, it is a box pressed cigar.
That's nice.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful
And
cigar.
yeah, it is. It's very wonderfully wrapped. They really went all out for the wrapping of
Yeah, they
this
did.
60.
So what
Yeah.
does the 60 represent?
Oh, 60 years of Rocky Patel, I
Oh,
guess.
there you go.
I think. Yeah, it's this was Cigar Aficionado's #2 cigar of 2022. And it had its highest ranking was at a 96 point rating. They're aged for 2 years before they release them. It has, like I said, the 3 bands on it that covers about 80% of the cigar. So I'm going to be unwrapping this like 3 times before I start to smoke it. So I'm going to go over the burn and the draw and the taste later on about how I feel once I unravel this thing and I light it up. To make a note that Rocky Patels were a favorite by actors Gene Hackman, and Arnold Schwarzenegger's been known to smoke them too. So with that, Bull, what are you smoking tonight?
All right. I going back to the new world, man. I just love AJ Fernandez cigars, man. They just are so good and they are just excellent, are reasonably priced. So
He's good. He's got some good cigars that AJ.
Oh gosh, yes. These are some of the best. I think, this is a new world premium age cigar, Puro Especial. Because it's special.
Aha.
Yeah, so it's a beauty, man. It's got a nice, lightly oiled sheen wrapper.
Oh, you like those oiled ones, don't you?
Yeah, and it's got the wrapper and binder are Nicaraguan Habano, and the filler is Nicaraguan. They age these cigars 3 to 5 years. So, and it's about an $8 to $9 stick. It's going to give you notes of pepper, nut, and fruit, and maybe a little earthy note as well. Some of the things to look for on this are notes of cedar, mild spice, bitter cocoa, and maybe some grassy notes towards the band, and maybe a little bit of dry leather as well. So it's got a lot of really interesting, characteristics. So overall, this cigar was the top 25 cigar in 2017 from Stogie Press, and it has a 93 rating by Cigar Aficionado. So she's a beautiful.
Yeah.
So tonight, Tig, you had a pretty interesting shirt on there, Mr. Ace Frehley.
Ace Frehley. Yeah. And you know what? I've had this shirt. I've had it for quite a while. I'll show it again here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
as a kid, I loved fucking the
solo
award. Yeah. Yeah. Those solo albums were awesome.
We grew up listening to the original 4. For most people that know Kiss, they know,
right.
They know it. Peter, Paul, Ace, and Gene.
Yeah.
And it's sad because Ace might not go down he probably won't go down in the top 10 or the top 20 greatest guitarists of all time, of course. But the thing with Ace is he was quite a pioneer in many ways. I mean, he had his smoking guitar, smoking Les Paul. He created the Spaceman. That whole thing was his creation.
Yeah.
The lightning bolts that were the 2 S's on the end of Kiss, that was his. He created that. He created that look. So he had a riff with Kiss. I mean, he did a dozen albums with Kiss. He left. Got kind of kicked out of the band or left the band. That's argumentative. He says he quit the band, and I think he did. I read his book too. In fact, I have his book along with me, the No Regrets book. Very good book. He's got a good sense of humor. See, the thing about Ace was he was down to earth. He had a good sense of humor. he did a lot of solo albums himself. Did
Yeah.
12 albums with Kiss, did a lot of solo albums. I guess he fell down his head once and he was recuperating from that. And then he fell down again, had a major bleed in his brain, and ended up passing away from that. It's a sad story. He had to, cancel all his tours after the first fall. There's been a lot of, I don't know if I want to call it bad blood between him and the members of Kiss. They got along for the most part. Him and Gene got along for the most part, even though they had sometimes didn't have good things to say about each other. He was a good guitarist. Overall, he's, when you're in your 70s and you're still playing, I mean, they could say what they want. Some of the times he played, he didn't play very well, and he had a young band playing with them. But I mean, you got to hand it to him. He was still out there playing. But here's the thing. He did a lot of good things. He was real good with kids. He
didn't he have an interesting story you were telling me about with Gene Simmons?
Yeah. He was he was a fisherman too. He liked fishing. He had a revolver that he liked to play around with. Back in the days, he was always drunk. And he was an alcoholic, and he did his share of drugs and stuff. And the thing about him was, I always say that Paul and Gene Simmons of Kiss were businessmen that just happened to be musicians, where Ace Frehley was more of a rocker, and he lived the rocker lifestyle. But he writes in his book, this is a cool story. This is early on when they're touring, and Ace and Gene were like roommates in the hotels, right? Because they were touring crazy. Early on, they were doing like 2 albums a year. Seriously, like Destroyer, they did that at the beginning of the year 76, and then towards the fall, they put out Rock and Roll Over. 2 albums in 1 year, man. That's a lot of touring, and that's a lot of work. But anyway, he says, I put on the Kiss makeup for the very first time. If you've been with only 1 or 2 women and had to beg for whatever you got off them, it must be intoxicating to suddenly have groupies falling all over you. You go from getting laid once or twice a year to getting laid 100 times by 100 different women. It can be a little disorienting. I sort of got a feeling that Gene fell into this category. I can't say for sure because I don't know a lot about his sexual history prior to Kiss, but I do know that once we got out on the road, Gene reacted like a starving man at a smorgasbord.
Keep it rolling, man.
Yeah, I believe Gene is a sex addict.
Yeah.
In much the same way that I'm an alcoholic. We all have our issues and vices, and I saw Gene's behavior affect him and the band sometimes in a negative way. Are we done laughing?
Yeah.
So maybe not to the extent that my drinking impacted the band, but certainly there were consequences. Now, here we go. I'm going to shoot forward here. Okay. See, Gene in those days seemed to live in a state of perpetual infestation. Perpetual infestation. That's a good one. You got to laugh at that one, right? Okay.
Crabs.
All right. He would fuck almost anything. And I think he's admitted as much. Short, tall, plump, suave, attractive, merely tolerable. We all opened our beds to companionship on a regular basis, but somehow Gene was the one who would end up with bugs in his bush. Bugs in his bush. That's funny.
Nice.
I got creeped out just thinking about it. When you're rooming with a guy and you know he has pubic lice, well, it's a little disturbing. Every time I scratched my balls, I'd wonder whether the little bloodsuckers had crept into my bed as well, leaving me infected simply because of proximity. Sometimes it turned out that I had been. It wasn't just the fact that I shared a room with Gene that left me vulnerable. In those days, we did everything on the fly. Stages were set up and torn down in record time. We packed lightly and traveled fast. As a consequence, our costumes were often thrown together in a single pile and
Ew.
packed into one suitcase,
Ugh.
sometimes without even being washed.
Oh
You
man.
can imagine how that worked out. The suitcase filled with hot, sweaty leather crabs jumping gleefully from the demon to the star child to the cat and the spaceman. It must have been like a giant petri dish. And sure, and he's like, sure enough, within a few days, we had all been walking around tugging at our crotches, scratching incessantly. Gene would just laugh and say, occupational hazard, boys. You'll be fine.
Nice.
This is the kind of stuff though that Ace writes. He was
He's got
funny.
quite the sense of humor, eh?
Oh yeah, he took some stories at the time that wouldn't have been so pleasant, and he makes such
Right.
humor out of them. But yeah, ode to Gene there for him.
Yeah, right.
Ace
He
was so
quite the
funny.
clown anyways.
They didn't like him sometimes because they found him to be not serious enough and stuff, and he was late for
Who
practice
Ace was.
stuff. Ace, yeah,
Yeah.
but Ace was Ace, and Ace made the band. He was
He was an awesome guitarist,
he had a
man.
lot of dedicated fans that even went and were dedicated to his solo work after Kiss.
Right.
So there was definitely life after Kiss for him. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
So Tig, let's
Go
roll
on.
into No Kings. You were expressing your love for the dumb liberal logic. You have an axe to grind with the heads of some of these liberal twats.
Yeah, here's the thing, folks. I get it. We all have a First Amendment right. We do. We have the First Amendment right to protest and all that, peacefully and all that. Problem with the No Kings, problem with the whole thing and the liberals is the liberals talk about their First Amendment and they're sitting there saying we are practicing our First Amendment. Well, that's all fine and dandy, but it's only when it fits their narrative and their argument. See, when it's a conservative, then they want to censor. Then they want to censor you. They want to shut you down. I've had libtards on social media saying, "Oh, your post should be removed and you shouldn't be allowed to." Oh, really? Oh, but it's okay for you to, give your first opinion, your First Amendment opinions, your circus jerk crap that you throw out there. All right, libs. I'm going to tell you right now, you see, there's no kings in this country except for Christ himself. Christ is the only king we have. Okay.
Right.
I guess you're opposed to that king also, aren't you? Right? Are you? Because it seems that way because you say no kings. See, because if you're referring to Trump, well, he was elected. He won the popular vote. He won the popular vote. He won the electoral vote. That's how you all like to say democracy, right? See, because you all like to claim democracy, you libtards, but all of a sudden you're calling him a king and we shouldn't have a king. You can't be kings don't get elected in this country. Kings don't get elected with winning a popular vote and an electoral vote. Sorry to say that. So here we go, liberals. Let's put it this way. You loved kings when they locked down our country. You seem to love them when they locked it down from a virus, when they demanded your freedoms be violated, when they demanded you wear a mask, when they demanded you got a vaccine. Then it was okay to rule with an iron fist, wasn't it? Right? Liberals, you believe in free speech but demand censorship of people such as conservatives when it doesn't fit your narrative. Liberals, you push gun control, except when you yourselves use it to shoot people or threaten to shoot ICE agents, as you have lately. Liberals, you were okay to wear a mask during COVID, and you hated anybody that didn't wear a mask and demanded they did, but all of a sudden now you're criticizing the mask being worn by ICE. Yes, liberals. You always agree that it's about the children, yet you fight over the right to murder them in the womb. Liberals, you demand freedom of religious beliefs unless a Christian business denies service to you based on their religious beliefs. Liberals, you defend the Constitution only when you can twist it to fit your agenda or narrative. Otherwise, you defend Marxist ideologies. Liberals, you call conservatives haters, even though you hate the narratives of anyone but your own, and you suffer from TDS, Trump derangement syndrome.
Yeah.
That hate. Liberals, you say Trump is a pedophile, even though you don't want to admit that your guy Biden, well, he was a child sniffing guest on Epstein's Island who sniffed and showered with his own daughter, and their heroes, the Clintons and Bidens and Obamas, were also on Epstein's Island. Who's the pedophile now?
Yeah, go figure.
Yeah. So, liberals, I got a new slogan for ya. Liberals, so mentally ill that we should start a new slogan: make shock therapy great again.
Yeah.
For you libtarded liberal scumbag, do nothing, contribute nothing, twats. So,
Twats.
yes. And we could talk a little bit about how Hillary Clinton is that typical liberal twat. Okay. Because all you Democrats now
Are you?
crying about the ballroom being reconstructed in the White House.
Yeah,
Historically, many Democrats, many presidents and Democratic presidents have done their own restructuring of the White House, their own remodeling of the White House to suit them.
Speaking of kings, King Obama had like a $374 million renovation to the White House. Where was your outrage back then, motherfucker?
Yes. And hypocrites, okay. Even their presidents, FDR and Kennedy, JFK, they did some remodeling and some reconstructing. Hillary Clinton recently said, along with her stupid little what do you call that thing? Chelsea Clinton, that little demon seed of her.
Bucktooth or
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, what should I? Anyway, they both said that the White House is yours, and Trump is destroying it. All while these hypocrites, Bill Clinton, of course, when he was in the White House, reconstructed under Hillary Clinton overseeing it, of course, is the dining room. And they spent tons of money redoing the dining room. Hillary redoing the dining room. Talk about White House being ours. Also, you all took $28,000 worth of White House furnishings when you left and had to give it back, didn't ya? Hypocrite. So, Hillary, if anybody should shut her fucking twat, it should be you.
Yeah. You tell it, Tig.
Yes.
Tell it.
You hypocrites.
Hypocrites.
Anywho.
So that kind of goes into our next little subject with the government shutdown.
Yeah, that's sad too.
It is sad. What the fuck, man? Come on. Get your shit together, people.
Look, this is the fault of mostly the Democrats, but it's also the fault of some Republicans also.
Right.
Should we make this quote? Let's see where the true colors come out in the Democrat Party. This is a quote from the House Democrat whip, Catherine Clark. She says, "Of course, there will be families that are going to suffer, but it is one of the few leverage times we have."
Yeah, they like that word, leverage.
Leverage. Yeah.
Leverage.
If that shouldn't wake up some of you libtard voters out there, I don't know what does. And you know what? They're the ones holding the leverage, and they're the ones sitting there pushing back because they don't want to open up the government until they get their way. And their way means giving everything, including free health care, to the illegals, while regular Americans have to pay for it out of their own back pocket, and some of them can't even afford to.
Right.
Tell me that's right. It's not. It's never been right. And I'll tell you what, this shutdown. Now, some people say, oh, well, these people on SNAP, these people on food stamps and that, they take advantage of the system. Well, I personally know people that don't take advantage of the system and they need it. It's a safety net. Now, I don't subscribe to socialism as far as a government type of socialism, but there is such thing as a safety net in this country, and we do need it. We need Medicare, we need Medicaid, we need food stamps, and we need disability, and we need Social Security for
I know
certain
some people,
and they're going to suffer because they're not going to get food stamps for an entire month of November, and they got families to feed, they got kids to feed, you got single mothers, single fathers with children living at home, and they're single family, single parent family.
So
kids with disabilities, and they're getting food stamps, and they're not going to get their food stamps this month. And it's your fault, Democrats, your fault, Republicans. But you could care less because you're making fucking money off of lobbyists. You're making fucking money off of foreign interests. You're making money off of APAC. Okay. You don't care because you're making tons of money. So why would you care about opening up the government? You're all fucking treasonous. You all need to be hung by your necks. Period. You want to talk about Democrats being violent, talk about wanting to shoot people like ICE and that. How about this? How about we get together and we form a rope in a tree and hang the real people that are responsible for fucking us over and fucking America. So much for America first. Yeah. And what brings me to this is, while they're on shutdown, while people aren't going to get food stamps, while this is going to go on, God knows how long. And I think they're doing it because they want people to riot. I think they want civil unrest. I think they want martial law.
Well, come 2 weeks into the month of November, when people are starting to feel it because they've ate up all the food in their homes, and they're just running out of options for food. That third week, I see some problems. I see, robbing, grocery stores and grabbing, the Walmarts and, the likes. So I could see that happening.
There's rumors that the Walmarts were going to shut down November 1st, but
that's just rumors, but, it's possible.
Some might have to if they get overwhelmed. I don't know.
Yeah.
Temporarily.
Especially the ones in California. California.
Here's what I don't get.
Hey, you know what, Tig? We finally got some people listening to us in California.
Do we? Cool.
Yeah, we do. We got I think there was 18 or 20 right around there. Just, it's just a start, but
there is some conservatives left in California. I want to tell people this
why
too.
They would live there is beyond fucking me.
I don't understand it myself. And getting to the fact that
beautiful state,
people got to realize this. MAGA's got to realize this. Conservatives got to realize this. I'm a conservative. That doesn't mean I am MAGA. That doesn't mean I'm a Republican. And that doesn't mean I always agree with Trump. And I have my right to do that. Okay. And I can still be a conservative and still disagree with things like that. So I want people to realize that about some of us conservatives, because there's some things I don't like that Trump's been agreeing to and passing. There's things I like that he's done, things I don't like, and things that really creep me out about him as of late. But here the thing is, we got a government shutdown. We got people that aren't getting SNAP. We're going to have some shortages here. Meanwhile, Governor, don't tell me that grocery prices have gone down, because, there's certain areas where we're not seeing it. But Trump recently has approved, and this is the fault of Congress too, Trump has approved $14 billion in military aid and weapon sales to Israel. Why? And we're giving Tomahawks, cruise missiles to Ukraine. Why? Okay, we voted for no new wars. Okay, yeah, maybe we're not physically in a war right now, but we're supporting these wars. Why? We're giving this kind of money to people, and yet we've got people in the United States that have to live check by check by check and can barely make ends meet. And we continue to do this. And you see, Trump recently endorsed a guy over Thomas Massey, because them two don't care for one another, the senator. Well, I'm sorry, but Massey doesn't always, Senator Massey, and now they're mad at Rand Paul too. Yeah, they don't always get it right. Okay, they don't always get it right, but for the most part, they have been in support of the Constitution. And even though they go against Trump on some certain things, let me tell you something about the Rand Pauls of the world, the Thomas Masseys of the world, and even the Marjorie Taylor Greens of the world, which they just knocked down a vote for her that she had on the House floor, a bill to stop funding Israel, and they knocked it down. They shot it down. You know why? Let me tell you something why. Because your Masseys, your Marjorie Taylor Greens,
I'm not taking.
your Rand Pauls, they're not taking lobbyist money from APAC.
Right.
But you know who is taking lobbyist money
Everybody
from
else.
APAC? Everybody else. Everybody else. This is both Republicans and
Well,
Democrats. You know what? This should
not only
tell you
that,
something.
Not only that, Tig, but they're also, I think the majority of our Congress is all double citizenship as well.
Dual citizenship. This should tells you when most of the country is being run by Zionist Americans.
Yep.
This should tell you something when both sides are taking lobby money from the same corporations, the same APAC, same corporations. And when they make these deals to give foreign aid, the governments of these foreign countries are giving them kickback money, and they're making millions off of that kickback money. I've said this many times before on our show. Okay, they're taking your tax dollars, they're giving it away for foreign aid, and then in return, that government of that foreign country is giving some of it back to those politicians, and they're pocketing it. Your money, folks. Your money.
Tig,
both sides, both aisles,
the
both
biggest
wings.
thing, Tig, is they get a salary of $174,000, and here they are fucking getting like multi-million-dollar deals. You know, they're making millions of dollars off of being in Congress. Why?
Oh, by the way, too, that brings up another subject. If I can find it, probably won't be able to find it. I had it up there one other time. I probably didn't save it. I'll put this out there though. I'll put this out there. You know how much millions of dollars, tax-paying dollars, goes towards meals? And that's meals, basically restaurant meals for the politicians. And meanwhile, it's okay for people to go without food stamps this month, November.
Doesn't Congress get like $68 a day for their per diems for food?
Something like that.
$68.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that goes on a card or some shit. And
it's a government. It's a government credit card, and they get so much money a day, ranging from $50 to $100 a day per diem to eat, and it's millions and millions of dollars, taxpayer dollars, funding those idiots in DC to eat off of our dime and eat at fine restaurants every single day. Oh, but it's okay. Shut the government down, and the people that have to live on food stamps that rely on that, take that away from them, of course.
Right.
You fuckers in DC, you ought to be dragged outside. You ought to be tarred and feathered, literally. We should go right back to 1775 and 76 all over again.
Yep.
You scumbags, you dirtbags, you low-life shitbags.
Nothing's gonna change, Tig. Nothing.
Well, the Democrats like to talk about revolution. Maybe we should come to some sort of agreement here to put aside all this other stupid bullshit. And maybe the people of this country should unite, because they've been so successful in dividing us. Maybe we should unite. And maybe you should forget about censoring people and forget about trying to take away everybody's Second Amendment rights. Uphold your Second Amendment rights for once in your life.
Yep.
And maybe the citizens should unite on both sides of the aisle and say, DC, we're done with you.
Well, I tell you what, Tig, they're pushing this fucking digital ID bullshit, and that'll be the time when everybody needs to unite, because we will all become fucking slaves. You don't think so?
We're already slaves.
Go down the rabbit hole, people.
We're already slaves.
Read about it.
We're debt slaves. We're debt slaves.
And it's going to get worse because
the
they can
Fed.
turn you off if they don't like what you say or do or what you post on Facebook or any of your other socials. They'll cut you off, man. You won't be eaten.
We're already slaves to the Federal Reserve.
And I think, this
Already
this
slaves
whole,
to banks and their loans and stuff. The
right.
interest.
I think this little this thing with Snap is they're going to see what we do to judge how they're going to pull this off with the digital IDs.
Yeah, well,
This is just a test right now.
I think this shutdown is a lot of things. I think there's a lot of agendas behind it.
Oh yeah.
There's some stuff. We got a comment that said 100% 3 times. It was at Karen Bim BIMM.
Yeah.
22.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Yeah. So there's a lot of thoughts. There's a lot of thoughts as to why they are shutting us down, why they are shutting the government down.
Yeah.
And that's being done on purpose for many, many things. Not just, to see how we're going to react and all that. But, what's funny, Bull, the wife and I, we took a nice little bike ride, scenic bike, motorcycle ride.
You went out today?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
To see.
Was it a little chill or?
Not too bad at all. It was like 61 degrees. We had our leather on. We had our jackets on and stuff. It was really a nice ride. Really a nice ride. We got to see the autumn colors, the leaves and stuff changing.
Where'd
Real
you go?
nice. Scenic. Oh, we just went around the tri-state.
All right, cool.
Kind of went up into Illinois, went up into Wisconsin. But you know what? I noticed something that I've been noticing for at least for about a week here or two. Nice blue skies, chemtrail free.
Well, I'll tell you what. I was in Mississippi last week, and then from Mississippi, I went over to Arkansas.
I love that state, Mississippi, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful down there. I think Arkansas maybe just a little bit more prettier, just with the rolling hills. And
I was down there with the Navy. I was down Mississippi with the Navy.
Yeah, well, we were down in Fort Chaffee in Arkansas also. Remember?
Yeah.
We didn't. Did you go down there in Fort Chaffee?
I don't remember those days very well. Yeah. I might have blinked and saw a little bit of it. Just like I blinked and saw some Georgia. I blinked and saw a little Georgia too.
Yeah.
I've been down there. I've been to Alabama. I've been all over that area down there in the Gulf Coast and stuff. Louisiana.
Right.
New Orleans.
Yeah. Good seafood down there.
What's in New Orleans stays in New Orleans, just like Vegas.
Oh, you whore.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying that's some wild shit you will see down there.
Yeah. So, moving along. Tig, how's that cigar?
Well,
you haven't been sucking on that one too much.
No, I relit it because I was talking too much, of course. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know that it's worth $17. I don't know that I would.
You don't think so?
Fixed rating, but maybe I digress. I don't know. I'm trying to think here. I'm tasting some leather, maybe a little bit of coffee, strong like espresso coffee, and some leather. But yeah, it started off kind of barnyardish. I don't know why. It was just like, damn. Yeah, I was like, I don't know. And then I got to talking and then it went out on me. So it draws nice. And it has a nice even ash on it. I don't know. We'll see how well it stays lit. I got a fan kind of blowing here too, but
yeah,
for the most part, I'd say it stays lit pretty well if I'm not talking and having a fan blowing on it. But it's all right, flavorful. I mean, I have tasted cigars that probably are a little better for less money. This is Rocky Patel.
Yeah,
I will put up any Drew Estate cigar against this any day.
Oh yeah.
I will put up any Drew Estate cigar. I will prefer Kale over this cigar.
CAO.
Yeah, I prefer any Arturo Fuente over this cigar.
Any AJ Fernandez in there too?
Yeah, I think AJ Fernandez has this beat also, and I believe
Burger.
Camacho and Karen Berger Cigars has
Yeah.
it beat also. So yeah, it's a good quality cigar, but you know, for the amount that it cost, I'd say the label is better. You paid for the label.
Yeah, you did.
It's a beautiful dressed up cigar.
Looks like it's
But
got a beautiful ash there, you know, nice
it
and
does.
white.
It does. It's very good for that. But what I'm saying is when you look at the money and you look at some of the cigars that cost less that still
Yeah.
taste as good, if not better.
Right.
Like I said, I can buy for less than $17. For $10, $12, I can buy any Drew Estate cigar. My favorite, one of my favorite, I like Deadwood tobacco. Any
Yeah.
of those are like $12, or a $10 cigar, $12 cigar, like the Acid 20. Okay. Those cigars, for what they cost, are a lot better than this one. I would rather pay less money and buy one of those than this.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, I do like Rocky Patel's, but you know, I know what you're saying. That one's probably a pretty strong one.
It is.
Yeah, it's probably pretty strong. So it's probably choking you a little, even with your illustrious palate.
It's really not choking me all that much. It's
Yeah.
just you know, I don't know. I just don't, it doesn't have the taste that I thought it would have. You know,
Wow.
when you get a nice, lovely cigar like this and you see the price tag on it and it's dressed up nice and stuff,
Yeah.
you get this high expectation. And so when you smoke it and it's just a little lower than what you expected, it kind of becomes a downer. I'm not saying it's a bad cigar. I'm just saying, you know, for the beauty of it and the cost of it, it just doesn't really cut it. Now that see now the you know the like Opus X is a wonderful looking cigar with a huge price, and it met the expectation.
Oh yeah.
It was wonderful. I mean, it was
Yeah, you
absolutely
can't go wrong with the Opus
yeah.
X. Holy shit,
Yeah. Well,
dude.
Arturo Fuentes, they put out all kinds of good stuff, but Opus X, man, like I said, it was a beautiful cigar, high priced. I had a high expectation of it, but it met the expectation.
Right.
I had a high expectation for this Rocky Patel. It's not quite meeting it.
Right.
Good. It's not a bad cigar, but it's just not as good as I expected it to be.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what, this New World that I'm smoking, I'll tell
Those are
you,
great cigars.
it is fabulous. I think,
Wow.
you know, if you see this one, pick it up. It will not disappoint whatsoever. I'm getting kind of this raisiny, peppery taste on it. Kind of almost a little bit of grass, but you know, kind of a grassy, kind of like a creamy grassy flavor. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but
Well, I thought about picking up a couple New Worlds just last week, and I passed.
yeah,
on
do
them.
it. You'll enjoy them.
Well, I passed on them for the time being, but I mean, you know, when I get around to it, you know, when I see that my humidor box needs a few more cigars,
Right.
I'm sure that there'll be a couple New Worlds in there.
Right.
So,
Well, cool. So let's keep on rolling the program here. You were telling me about this Homeland Security policy letter written in 09.
yeah, I think
Can I
that's
go into
something.
that a little bit?
Yeah. Hey,
You said
first
you
of all,
wanted to read it, but it looked kind of fuzzy, I thought, but
it's interesting. By the way, I am wearing this cowboy hat.
yeah.
Kind of, I just got this. I just got this. Well, actually, my wife bought it for me, but anyway,
That's cool. I like it.
I'm wearing this in honor of the late Don Imus. Some of them out there, people out there in Radio Land, might remember the radio legend Don Imus.
Yes.
Some people say he was more of a liberal than anything, but I think he was more independent. I saw him knocking liberals and conservatives alike. He kind of just told it like it was. You know, he didn't let anybody slide. I mean, at first he liked Bill Clinton, and then later on he was getting on Bill Clinton big time. I mean, beating up on him. So I think Don Imus, you know, I don't like to put a label on him that he was a liberal or a conservative. He was what he was, and he called it like he saw it, you know, and you know, so he was a really, really great radio legend. So yeah.
Hey, can I bump in here just 1 second?
Yeah, and then I'll read this letter.
Yeah. All right. I just took off my New World. I know I did this before with a New World, with their label on the backside.
Mm-hmm.
AJ Fernandez signature.
That's good.
Yeah. So it's on this one as well. That's cool. All right, go ahead, man. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Right. So this is labeled "The People Are, quote, the enemy." This was put out a letter put out in 2009 by DHS, by the Department of Homeland Security. Now people might say, well, that's old, you know.
Right.
And this was when Barack Obama was president, you know.
That traitor dude.
Yeah, but let me read this. This is Department of Homeland Security, Office of Intelligence and Analysis. This is a right-wing extremism report of March 2009. Okay. Jeepers, I'm shaking my head, you know. It's with supplementary domestic extremism lexicon, April of 2009, classifies individuals as extremists if they are identified with one or more of the following criteria among many others, each of which is described as, quote, violent and an enemy of the state. 1. Military veterans who have fought in foreign wars and are disgruntled about the takeover of the U.S. See Operation Vigilant Eagle. Anti-war individuals or groups, tax-resistant movement, groups or individuals who believe taxes violate their constitutional rights, and that the 16th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, which allowed Congress to levy taxes on income, was not properly ratified. Also, tax protest movement, tax freedom movement, anti-tax movement. So far, this has actually got a lot of people under that category, including me. Militia. Members oppose most federal and state laws, regulations, and authority, particularly firearms laws and regulations. Oh, God forbid we oppose people opposing our Second Amendment. You know, alternative media, which provide interpretations, as they put it, of events and issues that differ radically from those presented in mass media outlets. This letter is perfect for today.
Yeah.
Opponents of open border policies.
Go figure.
Defined as highly critical of the U.S. government's response to illegal immigration and who oppose government programs that are designed to extend rights, quote, rights to illegal aliens.
Hey, Tig.
What?
Does that include presidents?
Probably should. Such as issuing driver's license or national identification cards and providing in-state tuition, medical benefits, or public education. That's why we're reading it, because this was written in 2009, folks, and never is it relevant for today. Okay.
Right.
Single issue. Groups or individuals who focus on a single issue or cause, such as animal rights, environmental, or anti-abortion. Group members may be associated with more than one issue. Also, special interest extremists. And here's another one. Patriot movement, a term used by right-wing extremists to link their beliefs to those commonly associated with the American Revolution. Also, Christian patriots, patriotic groups, constitutionalists. That Homeland Security was deeming us as the enemy, those people as the enemy, Americans as the enemy, as extremist, as violent, as we should watch you people. Okay,
Right.
you real Americans, all right? The DHS has established dozens of fusion centers. Yeah, like fusion centers, like like concentration camp
Yep.
centers, like FEMA camps. That's what they're
Oh
calling
yeah, those FEMA camps.
fusion centers in cities and states across the country to monitor domestic activity. Local, state, and federal agents from DHS, CIA, and DOJ share information concerning the activities of citizens. Illegal spying on us is what they're doing.
Right.
That Patriot Act should have never been signed, should have never
Fuck
been brought
no,
forth,
it needs to go.
and it should have never been reissued. Trump had every, the last term
Chance to
he
get rid
served,
of it.
last term he could have done it and he didn't do it. So
Yeah.
that's something I remember too that I don't like. So activities monitored by fusion centers overlap with those stated in the DHS report lexicon above and further include the following, which tend to vary state to state. Frequent references to Constitution, support of third-party candidates, support for an audit of the Federal Reserve, opposition to the carbon tax to be paid to a World Bank, opposition to U.S. submission to the United States and or United Nations and or World Health Organization. Well, we've been shooting that down for a long time. So
Absolutely.
I guess we're the enemy now. I guess we're constitutionalists. We believe in the founding fathers' vision for the United States of America. So I guess that makes us the enemy. Yeah. Okay. Right. You know who the enemy is, people. You know who the real enemy is.
Now, is this bill? Is this a bill or
This was a letter. No, this was a
Oh, it's
letter.
just a letter. Okay,
It's a letter that was put out by DHS
gotcha.
to basically say that these people should be spied on. These people are potential terrorists.
Should be looked into.
They're potentially violent. They're basically the enemy of the government. They're the enemy. They're the enemy of the state, which we're not the enemy of the state. We know who the enemy of the state is.
Right.
People just got to wake up a little bit more. Then it goes on and says the FBI's IntraGuard programs, in addition to collecting data internally, FBI agents work within the private sector with businesses which report citizens' suspicious activities. The U.S. Department of Defense's current training manual introduced anti-terrorism and force protection annual refresher training course 2009 advises personnel that political protest admittedly protected under the First Amendment is to be regarded as low-level terrorism. So I guess the No Kings protest could be subject to being regarded as low-level terrorism.
You know what I come to find out, Tim?
I don't know. I thought some of those liberals, I seen them along the roadside a couple of weeks ago, and that I think that one that was, he was in the inflated unicorn. He looked like a terrorist.
Yeah, get him.
That horn on that head, that dildo,
that was the dead giveaway.
that
right
inflatable
there.
dildo right there. That was considered a terrorist weapon right there. Yeah.
So Tig, okay, you good on that?
Yeah, that's the whole letter they put out.
Okay, so there was a couple other things that kind of came up as well. You had sent me something about project or something that's going to show up in the sky. And you were talking about Project Bluebeam.
Yeah, they're talking about maybe perhaps if they stay during the shutdown and all that stuff. This is there's a lot of schools of thought as to what could happen, and people would say, "Oh, it's a conspiracy," and that, but they've been using holograms for a long time, folks. They've been using it's it's part of Project Blue Beam. Project Blue Beam, the government project where they use holograms that are very real looking. And they're thinking that maybe with the shutdowns, like that, this government shutdown, and when all hell breaks loose and stuff, they may use it, to basically use a hologram and basically bring in what looks like the second coming of Christ, to bring in their antichrist, so to speak, their one world leader. Because
I just thought that was interesting when you sent that to me. I was like, and really, okay, the world is a pretty big place. So, if you see this in the sky, how many other places are seeing the same thing? It's just like,
I do think that when they do bring in Antichrist, they might do some sort of that kind of AI type of holographic thing. They might create this huge illusion that it looks like the second coming of Christ, and then people are going to think that this Antichrist one world leader is such, because he's got to mimic Christ. The Antichrist does. But it's kind of like putting the cart before the horse, so to speak. We don't know what they're going to do. There's just a lot of thoughts as to why they're continuing the shutdown. If to me, it's a pissing match, and they're trying. This is just a control thing all over again, and they don't give a shit if the American people suffer. Both sides don't give a shit. This is the way it goes. They want to see what happens. I think they want riots. I think they want civil unrest. That's been the plan all along, because they want martial law. They want to put the military in the streets. Why else would they be doing this in Chicago and all that in the blue states, kind of as what do you call it, as a kind of an experiment, really? Because Chicago's always been kind of rotten. I don't know how rotten it's gotten to where you got to bring the National Guard in, but it's a good experiment, isn't it, to see what happens.
I tell you, when I travel so much, just lately I've been getting more and more concerned about my safety. It's just like, I just don't know. But all right, did you happen to see that little video of Tucker Carlson where his feud with Ted Cruz? It's basically saying that he's leeching off of MAGA and stabbing Trump in the back. Did you get the chance to see that at all?
And you asked me that before the program, and I said that Tucker Carlson's absolutely right, and Ted Cruz.
I agree with him 100%.
Ted Cruz has become nothing but a shit bag. He wants to stay relevant, He's not getting. You're not getting enough attention, Ted. So you got to make an ass of yourself.
Well, Tucker really, he went after him pretty good. I thought it was pretty awesome, but Tucker's pretty awesome, and when he wants to be, he gets right in there, and he don't hold back.
Yeah, it's a good thing Tucker isn't making all these public appearances like Charlie was, because I don't know that he'd be around.
No kidding. No kidding. Okay.
I like Tucker, and I think he's a truth teller. And I think that's why he's not with Fox anymore. See, because you can't, if you're going to be a truth teller in this world, you got to have your own program. You can't be on mainstream media with the left mainstream media or the right mainstream media, because they both sides hate truth tellers.
Well, not only that, but they're owned by the same fucking people, the synagogue of Satan. So it's like, what do you do? I mean, it's like our numbers, I think our program's not bad in comparison to some of these other programs that are getting like twice the followers and twice the numbers. It's like,
but yet we get censored, we get shadow banned all the time. Our numbers are crap.
Yeah, we get fucking shadow banned, and it's just like, I don't know, dude.
Our numbers were starting to climb, and then they went and just kind of tanked. And
that's only on Rumble, but and also on what do you call it? ScrewTube, but
ScrewTube, but
so but our audio seemed to be still holding pretty strong. I mean, we got this huge following down in South America, and I'm just kind of concerned about that a little bit, but unless it's our cigar people down there.
What are you saying?
We
Hey.
come in peace.
We love your cigars down there in the
Absolutely.
Dominican Republic and Honduras,
Nicaragua.
Nicaragua.
Chile.
I would really be curious to see how well Brazil does on their cigars. Colombia.
Well, Brazil is one of our big ones down there.
We don't have a problem with Latin America. We just
Not at
have a
all.
problem if they don't go through a legal process to come here and stay here. If they want citizenship, there is a legal process to go through to get that citizenship. Then we're fine with them.
Absolutely.
I'm fine with illegal Mexicans that come to this country and work hard, and they do it the right way, and they become
Right.
legal citizens, and they
Some
love
really great
America.
people, man.
They love America. They set up and they live the dream. And
I've worked with a bunch, and I'll tell you what, they're outstanding people, man. They're hard workers.
when they're legal, they're outstanding, and they have a great sense of family.
Right.
They're very, very
And I've been invited to it.
they're very Christian.
Yep.
I've been at a party where I stood up. I had to stand up for well, this is back when my late wife was alive. We had to stand up for a friend of hers who was Mexican, and they had a baby, and the baby was getting baptized, and they just wanted to stand in to witness, like to be like the what do you call it, the Godfather and stuff like that.
Right.
And so they asked us to step in for that thing. Then we were invited to this mass family party afterwards. It was crazy.
Man, they just cook so much food. I'll tell you what, when I worked the road crews, man, the Mexican road crews there, they were freaking awesome, man.
Food is great.
They work from sun up to sundown, and I'll tell you what, and then when they shut down at night, man, it's pound the Bud Lights and drink a bunch and just load the grill up, man. They just would mound it full of food. And
food is great. I'm not so sure about the Bud Light though.
Yeah, well, it's
not my beer.
Bases, but anyways, they were always so kind to us. They're always like, "Hey, man, come to our party tonight, man. Come to our party tonight." It's like, all right, we'll be there. So we'd show up, man, and we'd walk away with bellies full and a bunch of beer and just like good times, man.
But that's and the thing is, like I said, there's a process,
right?
And there's some Mexicans I have talked to in the past where they talk about their families came here and had to work they had nothing, and they had to bust their butt, and they had to go through the proper channels, the proper process to become legal citizens. And then they became legal citizens, and they're really pissed off that these others just kind of waltz on in or given everything and, don't go through the same process they had to go through.
Right.
So they don't really like the illegals either.
Right.
Coming in, they're like, "Fuck you, assholes."
Right.
Get out of here.
Let's keep this rolling. We're going to shut down here in a little bit. We're right past the hour mark here. So, the ballroom. We kind of spoke about that.
We did kind of cover.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on into
the bottom line is liberals stop being hypocrites and stop making a big fuss about it, because you've had presidents in the past that have spent tons of money on remodeling.
Yeah, we already spoke about it. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Okay. Threats by Democrats against Republicans, man, they're getting vicious. You know why? And I know this is a fact. They're losing their power, and they're losing their base. Because
they're losing their minds.
They're losing their minds. They're just losing every which direction, and I know that there's some Democrats that actually said, I don't see this anymore.
John Fetterman.
Exactly.
Is like an old school Democrat that's coming out, and he's
like the only old school Democrat.
He's pushing back on his own party on some of these issues.
Right.
He came out and said, I'm for American people here. I don't stand for this party, that party, or this or that. So they're probably going to end up pushing him out. They're probably going to try. They're going to try to primary him. What I think he should do is, I really think he should have went independent myself.
Yeah, I do too. And he very well may do that,
Bernie Sanders is still up there.
Well, Bernie
He's
Sanders
independent.
actually was agreeing with some of the shit Trump's talking about. Did you hear that?
Some, but Bernie's still a socialist.
Yeah, he's still a
Still
socialist, and
Marxist,
and I think he's doing this to try to win some brownie points. He's trying to say, "Oh, I agree with Trump on shutting down the border." He was
I do
all
agree
about it.
with Bernie when he talks about the oligarchy, because it is an oligarchy. They don't listen to anybody. They don't listen to the American people.
Right.
They just do what the hell they want to do,
Right.
and they're supposed to represent the people, and they don't.
Right.
Period. Oh, did I tell you, I read to you about the salaries as opposed to what, regular people make?
Oh, go into it here. We got a few more minutes.
Salary of retired U.S. presidents, $450,000 for life. The salary of the House Senate members, $174,000 for life.
For life.
Salary of the Speaker of the House, $223,500 for life. Salary of majority and minority leaders, $194,400 for life. So now, the average deployed soldier makes $38,000 a year. The average income of those on Social Security is $12,000 a year. We think, you and I speak for you, Bull, because I know that you would agree, that we know where the real cuts in this country should begin with and end with.
Right.
Yeah. Them freaking assholes.
Yep.
So, yeah. Oh, by the way, Judas Pence has been implicated. Illegal possession of classified information and documentations, and his role in January 6th, J6. Judas Mike Pence should be in prison the rest of his life.
I totally agree.
He is a dirtbag. He's a lowlife piece of crap, and he is definitely a traitor. Bolton's going down too, the former security advisor. He should be in jail too pretty soon, along with Comey and Shifty Shift and the rest of them.
Yeah, we ain't gonna see it.
Mayorkas,
the club, and we're not invited.
Yeah, this is I don't know. We need to see some justice.
We do. All right. So, Tig, anything else you want to shut her down, or you got a couple more things?
Hey, we got a Christian revival across the U.S.
Oh, yeah.
Bible sales are up 41.6%. Religion and spiritual app downloads are up 79.5%. Spotify streams are up 50%. And more youth, surprisingly, the youth from Generation Z, Gen Z, they are reading the Bible now more than ever. They're actually out reading every other generation right now in the Bible. Gen Z, the young ones, the young generation.
Yeah.
Because you have us, we're Gen X. You have the millennial, Gen Y, they suck.
Yeah.
You have Gen Z, their kids. They're starting to read the Bible now more than ever. It's interesting to see what's going to happen with that in the future.
Right.
So,
any parting words?
I have the same parting words.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I always do. Folks, I don't know where you stand religiously, but if you don't have Christ, your soul's really not prepared for what the next life is. But that's, I guess, my truth. The truth. I would say it's the truth.
Yeah.
Some of y'all aren't going to tell me it's the truth. You're going to deny it. That's fine. You can deny it all you want, but I know what the truth is. Bull knows what the truth is. Anyway, so with that, also, if you are not suspicious or a little paranoid, then you are not prepared, period.
Well, my parting words. Yeah, it's hard times. And you know what? My parting words are kind of go along with your being prepared. Timmy, this is a fictional character. Timmy is not bearing his Red Ryder BB gun. Timmy
Carry on.
Timmy is digging an L-shaped ambush position with interlocking fields of fire with the neighbors. Timmy ain't surrendering shit. When I came across that, I just laughed.
I saw that
you right away.
I think I posted that one time like last year. Yeah,
that little black and white.
I knew where you were going with it. And I was like, oh, that's great. I had a Red Ryder BB gun. I was like, I tell my wife Michelle, I said, you know that the Christmas Story show, we play it every year. You know, it was in the 80s. Ralphie is actually me. Yeah. Seriously, I grew up just like Ralphie. I had the blonde hair. I had a bully that was bothering me. I finally beat up the bully. I had glasses I had to be made to wear. And and I wanted, and I was about the same age as him, 9 or 10. I wanted a Red Ryder lever handle BB gun, the same one on that movie, and I got that same one for Christmas that year. To this day, I still have it.
Do you really?
Yes, I still have that.
That's pretty cool.
Half the trigger's missing because the plastic trigger, part of it broke, the tip. Yeah. But you can rise up on the upper part of the trigger and still shoot the thing.
Dang.
Right now, it's jammed. Cool. I got to take it apart and try to figure out how I can unjam it so I can shoot.
That's pretty cool.
But it's a relic now. I found it at my parents' house when we were cleaning it out.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, so I still have that old thing. That thing is like 50 years old. It's a little less than 50 years old, but it's they still sell them. They're probably not, the quality is probably not as good as back in the day, but
yeah, I don't know. Probably weaker springs.
That whole Christmas Story, I can relate to the whole Ralphie character to this day. And so it's like, yeah, that's what happened to me. That's what I was. That's the same age. It's the same thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
So thanks for following Stars, Bars, and Cigars. Tonight we were on ScrewTube, Twitch, and Rumble. So keep following us and tell your friends about us so we could grow our audience and grow our viewership.
Look up our website.
Yeah, go to our website. Right here, just right above, right in this little corner right there. There's a little QR code, and just snap a little deal with your phone, and it'll take you right to
Cigars and Cigars.live.
Yep, and you can see us there, and see all of our different episodes, and
right there,
yeah. It just went by, dude.
Yeah.
All right. We're out of here. See ya.
You've been listening to Stars, Bars, and Cigars. Two conservative vets telling it like it is. The rally cry for those who appreciate bold truths served with a side of mayhem.
Roger, outside, disciple 4, copy all. We'll keep them sweating until we see Butcher 3. Out.
We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. And if you didn't, well, why are you still here, snowflake? We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, follow us on Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, and hear our precious voices on all the streaming services. Until next time, keep the spirit of freedom roaring.